Well, good morning, fellow patriots. Welcome to the 354th consecutive Friday meeting of the East Valley Red Friday Patriots. Thank you for your presence here this morning in support of our deployed service members in order to carry on our mission of remember everyone deployed. Speaking of our deployed troops, I'm saddened to report that according to U.S. Central Command, last Sunday, March 8th, U.S. service member who was seriously wounded during the March 1 enemy attack on U.S. troops at Prince Sultan Air Base, Saudi Arabia, succumbed to his wounds. Soldier's name is Sergeant Benjamin Pennington, 26 years of age, of Glendale, Kentucky. Sergeant Pennington was assigned to the 1st Space Battalion, 1st Space Brigade at Fort Carson, Colorado. This brings the total number of U.S. service member deaths in Operation Epic Fury to 7. There have been approximately 140 soldiers wounded in the conflict, 8 seriously wounded, but approximately 108 have thus far returned to duty. So I implore you to please keep our fallen and our wounded warriors and their families in your prayers. We can only hope for a swift conclusion and minimal casualties in this armed conflict as our troops carry out their mission. God watch over our beloved armed forces in this trying time. By the way, last Sunday afternoon, my wife Hank and I, along with Pam and Bob Williams, went over to the Mesa Arts Center, the Akita Theater. It was for a phenomenal free concert by the United States Army Field Band and their soldiers' chorus. The theater was jam-packed and the soldiers performed flawlessly. I was not only impressed by the live performance, but I was quite moved by those extraordinarily talented soldiers in uniform that represent the United States Army with such professionalism and pride. You missed a great show. I thought that I would ask, do we have any folks here that at some time in your life enjoyed playing softball? Let me see your hands. Quite a few. For those of you who have played the game, I'm sure that you would agree that it's a great sport and it can be addictive. Kind of like pickleball today. And over the past few days, I've been reminiscing about an old friend and running buddy, Mac. Mac and I have been friends virtually all of our lives going back to junior high school. Well, unfortunately, here recently, Mac fell ill, and during his illness, I visited him very frequently. And earlier this week, on one of my visits, as death seemed to be moving closer, I said, Mac, we both loved playing softball much of our lives. And we played all through high school and into late adulthood. And jokingly, I said, Mac, please do me a favor. When you get to heaven, somehow, some way, you've got to let me know if softball is played up there. And Mac agreed to do just that if it would be in his power to communicate the message to me. And then Mac, my old faithful running buddy, peacefully slipped away from this good earth. Well, only 2 nights later, I was abruptly awakened from a sound sleep by a flash of white light and a voice calling my name. It was like an epiphany. you know, like a sudden light bulb going off where you have a profound realization of a moment that something spectacular is about to materialize. Well, instantly, I sat up in bed and I said, "Who is it?" And this very recognizable and succinct voice came back with, "Dick, it's me, Mac." He said, "Old buddy, I'm excited to say that I've got good news and bad news for you." So the good news is that there's definitely a softball team in heaven. Better yet, all of our old buddies who died before we did are here too. And better than that, we're all young again. It's amazing. Mac went on to say, "Dick, you won't believe this, but it's always springtime up here. Never rains or snows. And best of all, we can play softball all we want. Never get tired." I said, "That's fantastic, Mac. It's beyond my wildest dreams. So, what's the bad news?" Mac said, "Dick, you're pitching next Tuesday." Now, if that's true, I've got 3 days and a wake-up call. So say your goodbyes to me now. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I want to take this opportunity to introduce a few guests who helped make up 111 in attendance this morning. Good crowd.
Okay, test.
We've got a gentleman in the back that kind of wandered in here a little bit late. His name is Guy Myers. Guy, raise your hand back there.
Test. It's not working. Hello? There we go. Okay. Hi,
Guy?
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Glad to have you here with us today. Guy is the United States Army Korean War veteran.
Yes.
And he was assigned to ordnance. I think that was probably one of the more dangerous games that were being played during that time. Thank you for your service, and thank you for joining us today. Appreciate you very much, my friend.
I enjoy it. Thank you very much.
Also, we have Fritz Messer. Fritz, where are you? Standing right there. Fritz is here visiting with Greg Britton.
Yes.
And you are coming in here from what state?
Cheyenne, Wyoming.
From Cheyenne. I can understand why you left Cheyenne this time of the year.
Yes, I did. 100-mile-an-hour winds yesterday.
But you're only, how much?
109 was the top.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I will assure you, you're in good hands with Greg. We appreciate you joining us today, and anytime you're back this way, swing in.
I sure will.
Thank you
all.
Also, we have Jeff Cooper. Jeff, where are you? Right here. Jeff is standing up right back here. Jeff is a United States Marine Corps veteran, serving 1973 through 2006. So you started off as a enlisted, and then ultimately went through a officer candidate training program to become a officer, commissioned officer. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So what do you call those guys that go from enlisted to officers?
Well, everybody knows it. Probably a Mustang.
There you go. So 0302, what is that MOS?
It's infantry.
Thank you very much for joining us today. We hope that you'll be able to return soon.
Yeah, nice to meet all you.
Also, we have Jim Scheit. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yes.
I did?
Yes, you did.
Man, the spelling on that, I would have struggled with that for 6 weeks. That was a guess, Jim.
Okay.
We've also got another United States Marine Corps veteran here.
Yes.
Hoorah! Hoorah! And you served 1978 through 1982?
Yes.
0311. What is that MOS?
Infantry. Right.
Infantry
Basic
as well.
rifleman.
Well, you are here at Los Palmas Grand.
Yes.
How did you learn about us?
I seen the flyers of Red Fridays, and I didn't realize wearing red for about 10 years ago when my boss started doing it.
Superb.
So I started wearing red on Fridays.
That was about the time when the Red Friday program really kind of started to come in nationwide. Bev, we're glad to have you with us. This is Jim's spouse. Thank you for joining us today, and we hope that you guys will return.
Absolutely. It's an honor to be here. I'll give you a little mnemonic device. Our name is a struggle. When you see it, to say it right, it is shite.
Shite. Why don't you just spell it S-H-E-I-T? The D confuses me.
We used to order pizzas and we'd go pick them up with S-H-I-T. That's how the teenagers spelled it.
Thank you guys for joining us. We also have Donna Graves and Bob Graves. Donna and Bob. Bob is a United States Army veteran, served 1968 to 1970, 11 Bravo and 71 Bravo.
Right.
You want to explain what those MOSs are?
11 Bravo's light weapons infantryman.
Absolutely.
And 71 Bravo is a clerk typist.
Man,
When
when
I became a personnel clerk, I changed my MOS on my papers. Nobody knows I ever had any infantry training.
that was a major transition, to say the least. So, Donna?
Yes, sir.
You guys are residents of Sierra Entrada,
Yes, sir.
and that's here in Apache Junction.
It is.
So you are originally from Davenport?
No, we're from Missouri.
You're from Missouri. Oh, Brian Davenport was your sponsor. Okay. I wouldn't have put his name down here.
I did it.
So you guys are going to be heading back to Missouri, or are you here
No,
full
we've been
time?
here 20 years. We've been here 20 years. Yeah.
We would love to have you back next week and all the following weeks. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And also, we have with us Jim McGee. Jim.
Stand up. Gary. Oh. It came out of order here.
Jim, you are here as a guest of Lee Bean.
Yeah, I guess I have to own it.
I would use caution. I hope you didn't ride here with him.
I did.
Uh-oh. So you're out of Kansas area?
Yeah, I live in Salina, Kansas.
And you're here visiting, or is
Just
this...
visiting, making sure he's kicking.
United States Army, 1976 to 1978. And you were a clinical specialist, which is a fancy name for a medic.
Yes, sir.
And that was a 91 Charlie 40.
40. Yes, sir.
Glad to have you with us. Thank you for your service. Come back to join us anytime you're in the area.
I sure will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian, you finally decided to bring your spouse here with you today, correct?
Excuse me.
So we have Mary Ann
Can you stand
Davenport,
up, please?
Brian's significant other, and you guys are in the Gold Canyon area, correct?
Yes, we are.
So, and you're here full-time?
No,
No?
we leave in the summertime. We go to Pine Top, Arizona.
Beautiful. But you're staying in the area. That's good.
Yes.
That's good. Was it difficult for Brian to twist your arm to get you out over here to visit with us?
No, Hank told me. We met Hank.
I'd give her a gold star, but she's my wife. We're really glad to have you with us. Hope you come back and join us again.
Thank you.
You bet. And Gary Capon, who is a guest of Brian Davenport as well. Gary, you're a Gold Canyon resident,
I am.
and you are a United States Army veteran, having served 67 to 70.
Yes, sir.
And what was a
76Y20.
76? Yeah.
76Y20 was actually supply, but I was munition specialist in EOD.
Okay. Your writing is about as bad as mine.
Yeah, I know. What can I say?
If you and I were to sit down to write a letter together, no one would be able to interpret what we're saying.
You know,
We're really glad to have you with us.
It's good to
Hope
be
you
here,
come back
too.
and join us again.
when I was in Vietnam, I was blowing people to Kingdom Come. Now I'm trying to save them for Kingdom Come.
What better charter? What better charter? May I have a hoo-ah for all of our guests? Thank you, thank you. Well, this morning I'm pleased to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Carl Forkner, who is a research psychologist focusing primarily on veterans issues including PTSD, moral injury, and suicide prevention. Dr. Forkner is a 28-year Navy veteran who served as a naval flight officer and surface warfare officer through multiple conflicts, retiring in 2011 as a Commander 05. His civic accomplishments include Boy Scouts leader, Dementia Friends champion, member of Board of Directors of Resurrection Street Ministry, serving homeless and underserved veterans, and chair of the Mesa Chamber of Commerce Veterans Program. As the adjutant CEO of Disabled American Veterans, DAV, Department of Arizona, past commander of DAV East Valley Chapter 8, and life member of the American Legion Post 26, VFW Post 1970, AMVETS, the Navy League, Military Officers Association of America, and Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America. Dr. Forkner advocates for veterans with hard work and dedication. Dr. Forkner is the Secretary of Unified Arizona Veterans, a nonprofit organization that brings together the collaboration and capabilities of 60 veteran organizations across the state of Arizona. He is the chair of the Mesa Veterans Program, which is a Mesa Chamber of Commerce program that brings together veterans in the communities with business professionals to advocate for the needs of transitioning service members, as well as the employee needs of local small and medium-sized businesses. Dr. Forkner has been a Disabled American Veteran Chapter Service Officer since 2018 and a Level 2 Chapter Service Officer since 2021. Along with Arizona Chapter 8's commander, he initiated a program bringing disabled American veteran claims service to the VA Southeast Clinic after a 5-year hiatus due to COVID-19 restrictions, where he serves on Mondays and Fridays, typically serving 15 to 18 veterans each day. During the first 6 months of this year, fiscal year 2026, between his chapter service officer time at the chapter and at the department headquarters and at the VA Southeast Clinic, Dr. Forkner completed 958 claims for myriad disabling conditions and survivor benefits. He was inducted into the Arizona Veterans Hall of Fame on October 24, 2025, an organization that represents only 1/10 of 1% of Arizona's veteran population. The Arizona Veteran Hall of Fame Society advocates in the halls of Arizona's legislature for support and non-support of bills that affect veterans, their families, and their survivors. His year-long study on the prevalence of moral injury among veterans diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, with analyses by combat exposure, gender, age group, and military service, is set to be published this month, April 2026, culminating his second PhD degree in psychology with an emphasis on behavioral health leadership. Dr. Forkner is an outstanding leader who exemplifies honor, courage, and commitment to his community and its residents and veterans. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome for Dr. Carl Forkner.
Thank you, everyone. Good morning. I tell everybody I'm just a below average guy doing average work in an above average organization. And, you know, Dick, Mac's not going to be alone. You know, the same thing happened to Forrest Gump. And he went up and St. Peter met him at the pearly gates. He said, Forrest, we've been expecting you. You've done a lot of good things during your life. But it's gotten so crowded up here, we have a 3-question test you have to pass. Says, okay. Says, first question's pretty easy. What 2 days of the week start with the letter T? He goes, oh, that's easy. Says, well, what are they? Says, today and tomorrow. Says, well, that's not really the answer you're looking for, but I got to give that one to you. And then the second question is a little more difficult. How many seconds are there in a year? And Forrest said, that's not hard at all. St. Peter says, well, what do you mean that's not hard? It's 12. How is it 12? January 2nd, February 2nd, March 2nd? Says, well, I guess I got to give you that one too. Third one's going to be tough, though. But if you've been paying attention, you'll get it. What's God's first name? He says, what do you mean, what's God's first name? Doesn't everybody know that? He says, well, they should, but what is it? It's Andy. Where did you come up with Andy? He says, we sang about him all through Sunday school. Andy walks with me, Andy talks with me. And with that, he led him in the gates. Okay, thanks for the introduction. My name is Dr. Carl Forkner. I am a research psychologist by trade. Pretty much all I use that for now is doing research to try to help veterans. And this last study will be passed on to the VA for their mental health professionals to help them understand that moral injury is more than just something different than PTSD. In the study I just completed, every single veteran who was diagnosed with PTSD also reported the symptoms of moral injury. And we typically don't even touch that when we look at how we're going to treat our veterans with PTSD. But I want to talk to you a bit about DAV, Disabled American Veterans. We're about 1 million strong. Last month, we had our midwinter conference. We went to Washington, D.C., visited our representatives and senators from Arizona to advocate for bills that will help our veterans. But we are dedicated to a single purpose: empowering veterans, their families, their caregivers, and their survivors to live high-quality lives with respect and dignity. That's one of the few things I liked that came out of Total Quality Management back in the mid-90s with W. Edwards Deming, is having a concise but powerful mission statement that everybody can have memorized and pass on. So, we have a tiered structure in DAV. We have a national organization that is the head of all of our programs. They're located in Erlanger, Kentucky, with an additional headquarters in Washington, D.C., which focuses on our legislative agenda. They are every single day on the steps of the Capitol and in the congressional office buildings, working with our representatives and their staffs to make sure the bills that they're trying to sponsor going into Congress are the right thing for veterans. We have voluntary services. VAVS is the VA Voluntary Services. I'm sad to say that just this past week, our state VAVS representative, Bill Burks, who's been doing it for 2 decades, just passed away. But when you see volunteers at the VA pushing wheelchairs or helping you find where to go, those are people that may be under the VAVS program. There's other things that go along with that, including our volunteer transportation network. You see the DAV vans out there. We buy the vans. Some of them go to the VA. Some of them stay with us at the VA hospital. And either the VA's VTS system or our system will pick up veterans and bring them to and from their appointments. The big difference being our volunteers are not trained to handle veterans who are not ambulatory, whereas the VA's system does have their people trained to handle non-ambulatory veterans. And then employment, we sponsor employment fairs all over the country. There's almost one every week. Sometimes there's more than one in a week. They're virtual and they're in person. You may have seen in the past that we've had them out at State Farm Stadium. Communications and outreach. These are the guys that put together the public service announcements, the billboards, the advertisements, the press releases, and so forth. Membership focuses on recruiting and retaining members. That's so important. We don't have a huge problem recruiting members. We have a huge problem in keeping them active. Why is that? In Arizona, we have 15 chapters. Only one has a bar and lounge. So it's different than a lot of VFWs and American Legion halls who have food and drink available at their posts. We are strictly a service center. We're a friendly service center, but we've got 9 service officers at Chapter 8, for instance. We have 115 service officers throughout the state. And we are teaming with AMVETS, who has come to us to ask us if their people that want to be service officers can join DAV and get trained as a service officer and then act as a service officer in their posts because they don't have a program. So that'll be a force multiplier. Caregiver support program. This is becoming a more and more needed program. The caregiver support program is there to help people who are caregivers to veterans and to help veterans who are caregivers to someone in their family. Goes both ways. The big difference is 100% of DAV's programs never cost the veteran a penny. They're all free. The caregiver support program has many less restrictions and hoops to jump through than the VA caregiver program. The VA caregiver program right now is approving about just under 30% of applications, which is up from 3 years ago when it was 10. But it's still very difficult. It's a long process, whereas the DAV caregiver support program gets there much quicker. We have an auxiliary. The auxiliaries support the chapters, and the chapters support the auxiliary. We have a trust and foundation administration that administers the Columbia Service Trust and the National Service Foundation. That's where they manage our investments at the national level and our cash flow to ensure that we have funding for all of the service programs that DAV provides to veterans. And oh, by the way, you don't have to be a member of DAV to take advantage of any of these programs. We serve every veteran. In fact, at the end of the oath that our officers take every year when they are installed into office, it says that our mission is not accomplished until every veteran, their family, and their survivors are cared for and receiving the benefits they deserve through the veteran service. And we will stick with you until we get you what you deserve. At the state level, I'm part of the command structure. As the CEO, I basically run everything in the state. We have a commander, state commander, senior vice, junior vice. They are the ambassadors and like the president of DAV, and I'm the CEO. So I get the crap jobs and they get the good jobs. That's how that works. We have an executive committee that does a number of things. We bring it to the executive committee before it goes to the general membership. In between conventions, the executive committee can approve measures that apply to the whole membership. Department Service Commission oversees our operations at the 3 VA hospitals, as well as our service officers. And we have talked about the transportation network a little bit already. Annual conventions. Our convention this year is at the Phoenix Chandler Crown Plaza Golf Resort down in Chandler. The 10th of June is a golf day and a service officer training day. And then the 11th through the 13th is the convention itself. Local chapters are who you're probably going to deal with the most. Your chapter here is Chapter 8. It's up on North Gilbert Road, a couple blocks north of the university. They have a big area. They go from the 101 all the way to 30 miles east of Globe, and from Sun Lakes up to Fountain Hills. You can go on their website, azdav08.org. If you want to schedule an appointment with me on a Monday or a Friday down at the VA Southeast Clinic, which many people are finding is a lot less driving to get where they need to. What do? Claims assistance is kind of our bread and butter. That's what we're known for. Survivor benefits will help the survivors of a veteran get the benefits they deserve. That starts, believe it or not, with the funeral home. When a veteran passes, we should be their second phone call. Why? Because we need to talk to the doctor that's going to fill out the death certificate to make sure that something for which the veteran is receiving disability recognition for service connection is either the cause of death or a contributing factor. That is key in getting benefits for the surviving spouse. VA healthcare system enrollment. We can help you enroll into the VA system to get your health care. CHAMP VA, which is kind of like TRICARE but run by Champus or by the VA. If you're 100% permanent and total, your family, your dependents are eligible for this program and it costs them nothing. We can help you file for your GI Bill benefits. We can help with emergency financial assistance, rent, utilities, things of that nature. Every year in the end of April, we have a community seminar with our national service officers to talk about what's going on with benefits and where it's going from here and how it's going to affect you. And a very big question and answer session. And then camaraderie and socialization with other veterans. You are always welcome to come in any morning, sit down, have a cup of coffee and a donut, and just chat with other veterans. It's a safe place. It's people that understand what you've been through, and can be a lot of fun. All right, some chapters have people who can do counseling. Our chapter is one of those. Me being a psychologist, I've been everywhere from sitting across a desk, working with a veteran to get him to calm down and de-stress, to laying on the floor next to a veteran who was curled up in a fetal position because he was so stressed out, to having a veteran, when I asked, is there anything else I can do for you? He said, I just need a hug. And when we hugged, he just broke down. To sitting in the front seat of a car, and I will never do this again because it was stupid, and I don't recommend it because it could have turned out differently. Sitting in the front seat of a car, convincing a veteran to give me his handgun instead of using it on himself, and then taking the veteran to the emergency room. Could have turned out very different. Fortunately, it didn't. But I learned a lesson. Don't do that anymore, Carl. These are the chapters that we have. We have 15 chapters in the state. The ones in green are the Southern District. The ones in blue are the Northern District. We have one in Phoenix, one in Mesa, one in Glendale, and one in Sun City, as far as the Phoenix metropolitan area goes. And then we're projecting over the next 2 years to have 4 more chapters. We're already working on establishing one in Globe, one in Payson, and then in Bullhead City is going to be a special chapter. The individual that's working on establishing that chapter is sight challenged. That chapter, although all chapters are open to anybody that wants to join them, that chapter will have specialized equipment in it for the vision impaired. and then SHOLO. Benefits. We advocate and counsel on VA claims and appeals at no cost. You go out to some of these advertised places you see on TV. What they do is they are not allowed by law to charge you to file a claim, but they can charge you for an appeal. So how do you manage that? You write the claim in such a way that there's things that are going to have to be appealed. It's a business, right? They are not focused on the well-being of a veteran like we are. That's all we do. All of our chapters are manned by volunteers, not a single paid person. My position has a salary with it, but I don't draw it because that's not why I do this job. We only have 4 paid employees statewide. That's it. But over 4,200 advocates nationwide. That means service officers. More than $30.4 billion last year in earned benefits. And I say earned benefits, they're not gimmies, okay? You earned it through your service, or you earned it through the service of your spouse. We signed a contract that we take care of the country. We expect the country to take care of us. Last year in Arizona, the DAV, VFW, and American Legion together brought $1 billion in benefits to Arizona's veterans. So, 3333 North Central Avenue, downtown in Phoenix, is where our National Service Office is. They're different than the chapter service officers. Chapter service officers get trained once a year, plus on-the-job training. The National Service Officers, and we are certified, National Service Officers go through a rigorous 16-month program, including an internship. They learn the intricacies of the law far more than we do, and they are actually accredited by the VA. Where are they? They're all over. So we have 2 things here in the department. We have department service officers who do service work not directly attached to a chapter. Then we have the chapter service officers. We have 3, 4 department service officers right now. 2 that are our hospital service coordinators at the Phoenix and the Tucson VA, myself, and the commander. Everybody else is a chapter service officer who is attached to a chapter. But we do the same thing. We help veterans. And we don't just write claims for you. We educate you. We want you to understand the system. We want you to understand the program. We want you to understand why things happen the way they do and what you might expect. DAV Caregiver Support is a 3-year-old program and is taken off like wildfire. Why? Because we have a thing called the silver tsunami starting to happen. Anybody heard that term before? Okay. Our Vietnam veterans, average age is the mid-70s. We still have Korean War veterans. Yesterday we served a World War II veteran. And what does that mean? As we get older, there are things that we find we can't do anymore. It may be because of our disability, and it may be because we've gotten old. But we find we need a caregiver. Some people need a little bit of caregiving. Some people need a lot of caregiving. But this program has helped over 1,400 caregivers. And why is that important? It is important because a family caregiver, that's somebody who's being a caregiver to a family member, 70% of them pass away before the person that they're giving care to. That's because they're so focused on the mission of taking care of their family member that they neglect their own physical and mental health. And it's sad. 3 years ago, that number was 55%. So if you know somebody that's a caregiver, a friend of yours, reach out to them. Say, is there anything I can do to help? Okay? Because they may not admit it, but they need it. They want to be strong, but they can always use help. Talked about the information seminars. Last year we had over 18,000 people attend those information seminars. Transition Service Program. Unfortunately, Luke Air Force Base right now does not have a transition service officer. What the transition service officers do is they meet with service members who are transitioning out of the military, whether retiring or just ending their enlistment and going back to civilian life. They screen them for eligibility for disabilities before they even get out. And that gives them a leg up when they get out to start getting their disabilities. We call that benefits delivery on discharge. So, say you leave the military, your date of discharge or retirement is mid-October. On the 1st of November, you get your first pay for your disabilities.
I don't know what happened.
Okay. That's all right. I can talk. You're comfortable, right? Okay. The chapter here is open from 9 a.m. to noon on Gilbert Road. And on Wednesdays and Thursdays, they have walk-in days. The other days are by appointment. Walk-ins are from 9 to noon. If you get there before noon, you will be seen. I do claims Mondays and Fridays at the VA Southeast Clinic. You walk in the door, you turn an immediate left, and I am the first office on the right, the one without a door, because they don't trust me. On the chapter's website, there is a bright yellow ribbon across it. You click that, click the link, and an appointment calendar comes up. All you got to do is click when you want to come in and see me, put your information in there, and it sends me an email for my schedule. Simple. Your underlying argument, whether you go to a chapter or you come see me, is your DD 214. It's not just to prove that you served. There's information on that we have to use in putting your claim together. And the easiest way to do it is have that DD 214 instead of you having to try to remember some of that information. Okay? There is only one obstacle to getting a claim done and getting disabilities rated. You cannot have a dishonorable discharge. Okay? Bad conduct discharge will help you. Other than honorable will help you. General, medical, honorable, uncategorized, we will help you. We are prohibited by our congressional mandate from helping veterans discharged with a dishonorable discharge. A lot of people don't know this, but in federal law, it states that if you receive a dishonorable discharge, you are not allowed to categorize yourself as a veteran. So that is in keeping with federal law. Next slide. Oh, can I? Oh, there we go. Disaster relief program. We do big disaster relief. We do little disaster relief. What do I mean by little disaster relief? Little disaster relief is, oh crap, our water heater failed and flooded my house. We can help with that. Most people have insurance on their homes, but for some people, even though they have insurance on their homes, at that point in their life, that may be something that would overwhelm them. We can help with that. If you have a fire at your house, we can help with that. All those kinds of things. Major disasters are like a hurricane or a tornado comes through town. Mass flooding like we had in Globe a few months ago. Like we saw in North Carolina a couple years ago, right? DAV was there. So the isolated disasters and the large-scale disasters, obviously large-scale disasters, we team up with other organizations. We don't have, nor can we do everything by ourselves. But teamwork makes the dream work, right? So we're partners with others. Homeless veterans. Almost 10% of homeless individuals on our streets are veterans. Phoenix, a couple years ago, went out and they had a program where they went out at 4 o'clock in the morning with teams all over Phoenix. They brought them to places like US Vets and some of these other transitional housing areas that we have around town. And they got the homeless population of veterans down to under 5%. It was virtually a 0% homeless veteran effort, which was great. We have homeless veteran stand-downs. They're designed specifically for homeless veterans, where they have all the necessities of life, where they have all of the resources that they can reach out to, that have tables there that can work with them right then and there. In some cases, we have times when a homeless veteran goes away from that stand down because they're being taken to their new roof over their head, right then and there. So they're very good to go to. I know this weekend we have a veteran stand down at Phoenix Fairgrounds. And lots of opportunities for homeless or not homeless veterans to get assistance. If you go to va.gov/homeless/events, it has an ongoing list of all the events for helping our homeless veterans. National Employment Program, I talked a little bit about this. There is a Veterans Advantage booklet that we will give to employers. Because guess what? Employers are not all that unlike a lot of the uninformed citizenry. A lot of people think, oh, you're a veteran, you've got PTSD, and you're a danger. Seriously, that's a problem. It's there. And it is a barrier to employment for a lot of veterans. We try to work with companies to get them to understand what a veteran is, the heart of service of a veteran, the dedication to a mission that a veteran has, and that they're not a danger. They're a force multiplier to your company. They bring skills that nobody from the civilian sector brings with them. They may be a 21-year-old that joined right out of high school and did 1 3-year enlistment, But if you stack that person up next to other 21-year-olds, those other 21-year-olds don't have leadership experience. They don't have management experience. But that young veteran does. And that's soft skills that will help a company. Talked about the transportation network. More than 3.5 million volunteer hours last year. 235,000 rides given to veterans, covering 9.3 million miles between the veteran's home and their VA appointments. Now there's a glitch in the system. Not our glitch, it's the VA's, and they're fixing it. Some of you end up getting sent out to community care appointments. The very first community care appointment shows up in the VISTA system where it can be verified so you get a ride. The rest of them don't. So there's no way to verify the appointment. Well, the VA's fixing that. There's another system they have that they're going to make available that we can see all the appointments for a veteran so that we can open up rides to veterans that need them much more frequently. And again, it's all free. Community Impact Day. Last year was on April 6th. This year it's on April 4th. It's the first Saturday of April every year. And it is for DAV members to go out and do service projects helping the community. Not helping the chapter, but going out and doing things for the community. That could be anything from cleaning up a park to going and doing fix-up projects on an elderly person's home to helping plant new trees to whatever. But we go out into the community and we ask people in the community, what kinds of things do you need? And we've got 3 projects for Chapter 8 already lined up for April this year. But if you have anything for the community that could help the community, let us know. We'd love to help. That's what we do. Okay, honoring the next generation of service. We have college scholarships that we give. And we just increased that from $110,000 to $150,000 each year that we are giving in scholarships. There are requirements, okay? 100 volunteer hours credited through DAV or the DAV auxiliary, and they got to be 21 years old or younger. We also have a Native American scholarship for somebody who is a Native American descendant. We have one here for the state as well, by the way. In the community, this picture on the left, Mr. Oberstein, I think he just turned 100. He's 99 in that picture, but he doesn't look anywhere near 99. Well, Melvin had a great story. Melvin was a soldier during World War II. He rode with Patton's Third Army through France, got his Purple Heart after they rescued the 101st and the 82nd at Bastogne in the Battle of the Bulge. So he was one of those that picked up everything, moved 150 kilometers, and re-engaged the enemy. And then he ended up, because of his injury, spending the rest of his time in England. 2 months of that in a hospital bed. This second picture, a gentleman, a young veteran, because of the respiratory issues from Iraqi freedom and enduring freedom, from burn pits, burning oil wells, and so forth, just died a few weeks ago. And then we visit people in the hospital, people in hospice care, We'll talk more about that in a minute. Initiatives that are going on. Our first remote claim station was put together in Globe. The Elks Club there is hosting us and providing the internet access. What this is a computer, a printer scanner, and a site manager where we will connect veterans via video conference with a service officer somewhere in the state to get their claim done. Why? Globe's closest chapter is Chapter 8, an hour and a half away. So we put that in there to help them have better access to services. Now, that's not the only one. This is the team that put it together. Lynn Burnett, he is the Chapter 8 commander. He and his wife have great ideas on moving ahead and making the chapter better, and they're doing well. Mariano Gonzalez is the exalted ruler for Globe Elks Lodge 489, who welcomed us with open arms. On Monday, we start remote claims from Pinon, Arizona, in the Navajo Nation. There we have 2 stations set up, and the lady in the middle there, standing between my senior vice and one of the officers from their veterans program, Sarah, is our site coordinator. And she is there when we do the claims with the Navajo veterans and survivors, and she's invaluable. About every 3rd claim, she has somebody that is older, and she has to translate from English to Navajo. So I can tell you firsthand, I totally understand why the Japanese couldn't break the Navajo Code Talkers Code. What you see just barely on the corner of the building there is a Starlink antenna. We provided them a complete Starlink setup, and we're paying their first 2 years of membership, which we are doing for all of them. This is our 2-year project plan and our 5-year project plan. I invested $30,000 in bringing remote systems to our veterans who don't have access to a chapter. So we already did number 1 up in Pinon. September, we go to Peach Springs on the Hualapai Reservation and install theirs. Next spring, we go down to the Tohono O'odham Reservation to Sells and install a system there. And then next fall, we go to the San Carlos and Fort Apache Apache tribes, or the White Mountain Apache tribes, and install in Peridot for the San Carlos Apache, and it looks like probably in White River for the White Mountain Apache. And then we have plans for 5 additional Native American locations in the back 3 years of that 5-year plan. These are all of the Native American populations in Arizona that this plan will support. In the Navajo Nation alone, they have 30,000 veterans out of the almost 500,000 veterans in Arizona. 30,000 veterans that, because they have great distrust of government organizations, have not registered and have not received their benefits. And we aim to change that. By the way, Native Americans serve in the military at a rate 5 times that of any other demographic in the country. They also have, when compared to all the other demographics, the highest percentage of Medal of Honor recipients. This other initiative is a $50,000 initiative that brings Windows 11 or iPad tablets, keyboard cases, and styluses that we are giving to every service officer. Why? National Commander Coleman Nee admonished everybody to get up off our butts, go out of the chapter house, and meet veterans where they are. All the veterans are not going to walk into the chapter house. That's a fact. So we're going to be going out to where the veterans are. This includes homebound veterans, hospice care veterans, hospitalized veterans, and veterans that have no transportation, and homeless veterans. Bringing the service to them because they earned their benefits through their service as well. So I'll open it up for questions and answers, and I might even have some that are right. Oh, come on, guys. All right, we
Dr.
got one.
Forkner, we have one of our members that does have a question and a comment here.
Okay.
Well, I don't have a question for you, but
yes, sir.
I first started applying for benefits in 2020, and I applied for neuropathy, heart disease, and whatever, tinnitus. Well, they gave me 10% for tinnitus, and I reapplied, and I still was stuck with 10%. And then I went to you, and actually I saw you the first time I went, and now I see Lynn Burnett. But anyway, I came to you, went to 60%. I got my decision letter, brought it back, went to 80%. I got my decision letter again, brought it back, and now I'm 100%. In less than a year, you guys took me from 10 to 100. And I just wanted to say thank you for what you did for me. And
you're welcome. You're welcome. That's what I mean about we will stick with you the whole way through. One of our service officers died on April 1st, 2020. His widow was denied survivor benefits. She made too much money and had too many assets to get a survivor's pension. But they said he didn't die from something that he was getting compensation for, nor was something listed as a causative factor. It took me 5 years to get through the VA nightmare. But at the end of that 5 years, I got his death service-connected. She's now getting her $1,700 a month tax-free from the VA, and she got a back pay check to the date of his death for $93,500. And because of that, she no longer had to work. So, all right, everyone, thank you very much for having me. I really respect what you do here, that you're here every week and have that many people that are dedicated to remembering those of us that are overseas, going out and protecting our country ahead of that threat getting here. And that's so important. So thank you again. Please keep doing what you're doing. And I'm glad somebody else has a dark red shirt, because I didn't want to be the only one.
Dr. Forkner, we want to take this opportunity to present you with this certificate of appreciation, welcoming you to the Order of the R.E.D. And this states that we hereby recognize and commend Dr. Carl B. Forkner for his honorable military service, veteran support initiatives, and support of the East Valley Red Friday patriots.
Well, thank you,
very
Dick.
much,
I
sir.
appreciate it.
Thank you. We also have something that we would like to present to you. This is a little memento of our appreciation. First is a United States Navy 250th anniversary pin.
All right, the best service.
You got a thick shirt.
Yeah.
And then we would also like to present you with a Red Friday lapel pin. And this is a pin that we hope you might be able to wear with pride when you're out and about and promoting the merit of this Red Friday organization.
Absolutely, yes, sir. And let me make one correction from my intro, and that is last month I actually transferred my life membership in American Legion from post 26 to this post.
Superb. Then we expect to see a lot more of you.
Oh.
Go ahead. Thank you very much. Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Just hang on to that for right now. There you go. May I have a hoo-ah for this gentleman? Thank you. I do have a few announcements that I would like to make. One, we have, as reported last week, Nancy Fassbender has launched a new program to generate some funds for a new 501c charter that she has. And I would like to bring up Nancy and have her re-explain that, since there was a slight glitch last week with the particular email address for you to access.
Yes, unfortunately we were running out behind time, so I'll quickly do a short intro. My 501c3 company is called Arizona Veterans Honor Tour. And what we do is we look for veterans who are out in the community volunteering. It could be with your church, it could be with the community, it could be helping other veterans. And this year we're taking 15 veterans that are dedicated to help out to Branson, Missouri, and we leave November 15th through the 18th. And I wanted just to, I see a few of us that are going. Larry Smith in the back, who runs the sound and video and extraordinary. And then Jim Kenyon here. Can you just wave your hand, Jim? Dick Nations is another one that is really out and going. I've read their bios, and I'm going, oh, wow, you don't know half of what they do around here. And then also, we have Ken. Ken, can you raise right here? And we have Mayor Chip over here. He is going. And then we have Patrick McNeil over here with the Southwest Veterans. And after you read the bios on that, that is a really extraordinary veterans that we have here. And I know that there are several more of you out here. So what I would... And also Carl Forkner is going too. And you heard a lot about him right there. So you know why we are looking for people out in the community. The question well, if you want to know how you get on this, I have a sign-up sheet over here that you can see afterwards. And you can sign up, and I'll send you an application that you can fill out. And you'll need 2 letters of references. And then our committee will get together. Now, right now, we are on standby where if there's somebody that drops out, I will go to the list. But we are collecting for next year's already. But you ask, okay, how can we raise money to send all these fantastic veterans? One of them, of course, is sponsorships and fundraisers, which you know me anyway. I'm always asking to help. But this time is something that you don't have to dig in your pockets. There's a national survey out there that will help us. And all it takes is your time And it's each vendor that we do, that you do, would be paid the corporation $1.60. And these are national vendors. So what they ask you, let's take Lowe's for example. Were you greeted at the door? And they give you a happy face or a sad face, and you go through and do it. And did you find an item in stock? Happy face, sad face, whichever way you want to do it. It's very simple. They claim 90 seconds. And I know we have 111 people here today. And you know what? If 125 just do 50 vendors, we get $10,000. That mounts up. And right now, our airlines did a no-no to us, and they decided, oh, we want more money. So I am knocking on doors right now and pleading with you guys that please take a moment, and I have cards up here. Now, some of you that got a card last week are incorrect. The instructions in the back are legit. What happened is I put in acceptance with this company, what I handed out, and they didn't tell me that the website changes every year. Now, if you did it on your phone, that was fine. But if you try to get on the computer and do that, there's a different little thing that you need to do. And I have the corrected cards up here now. And I would just beg you really to just get in there and try it out. And you only can do 25 a day. And the max is 75 vendors. And you'd be surprised. Yesterday, I had a person sit down in the office with me, and I had to be taken away because of a phone call. So she got on. She goes, Nancy, I've already did 10. I go, yeah, it's quick. So do that for us. I would really appreciate it. And the script is up here. Oh, it changed. Anyway, I don't have a plug. I don't have anything. Okay, which one do you want? Well, okay, I show that one. Okay, that's fine. And then the next one over that's the QR thing to use your phone on. So any questions or anything, concerns? They do not sell your information. And I can attest to that, because last November, I did it for the Daughters of American Revolution. And I never got bothered by any of them that I had done. So, and that's pretty much all I can say about that. And like I said, I urge anybody that's interested in signing up, go ahead, and I will be here after the meeting to hand out new cards for those who want them. Okay? Thank you. Oops.
Do appreciate it. I strongly encourage your participation in this particular program. I sat down already. I've done 5 a day, and it takes me 5 minutes to enter 5 quick surveys, a minute per survey, and be able to generate $1.60 for every survey that we do, that will be going to this 501c to recognize veterans who have been extraordinarily involved with community service and activities. So you can do this on your phone or on your computer at home. Really, really simple, and you're certainly helping support a great cause. Please be advised that, go ahead, next. Please be advised that we have scheduled a variety of guest speakers to join us over the coming week, so I hope that you'll plan to be in attendance and support these speakers to demonstrate our appreciation for their support of this program. Also, next week, the 20th of March, we will be planning another show and tell program. So if you have military-related item or short story that you wish to present to the group, please get them ready, bring them in next Friday, and we've had fun with these programs before. I hope that we have some good good participation on this. Also, I want to reemphasize that with Operation Epic Fury currently underway, I think this is an opportune time for our group to promote the mission of R.E.D. wherever and whenever we are out and about. Wearing a red shirt daily, not just on Friday, may prompt others to pause for a moment to remember everyone deployed, those warriors that are out there in harm's way. So whether it's a black shirt, a red shirt, a blue shirt, or a white shirt that happens to have the Remember Everyone Deployed message on it, please promote this message to those that you encounter on a daily basis. By the way, Barry does have a few shirts ready for pickup. Steve Breckner, Fred Hammond, Judy Overmeyer, Jim Simon, Debbie White Wasiak, Nita Bauer, Kathy Mullen, Don Stevens, Alice Stossel. We have shirts for you to pick up that are ready. And who? Okay, Karen is going to help with that, and you'll be over here. Be on this side to pick up your, or to order shirts. So, to our guests, first-time guests, thank you for joining us today. We sincerely hope that you will return to share in our camaraderie and support for our mission. Please know that you will always be welcome at our Red Friday assemblies. And as a final reminder, let's not overlook the importance of our Red Friday mission to keep our deployed warfighters in our thoughts and prayers and continue to demonstrate our support for these fine men and women. Enjoy your weekend.